Alright, so here's my header, right? So I already welded all the I welded the overlap, so that's sealed up. I also drilled a hole here, 7/8 of an inch. Basically use a step drill, right? Go down to the 7/8 there. So that way I could fit on this O2 bung right here. Alright, so I got this O2 bung, and I actually really like this one because it's it's thin, more surface area, it stays cooler. You have to remember that a wideband O2 sensor is different from a narrowband O2 sensor. The wideband, how they're made is the material is different, so it actually burns out. The sensor could burn out from too much heat, whereas the narrowband could withstand more heat. That's why you look, for example, you look at new cars nowadays. The cars use narrowband, and the O2 sensor is like literally right there at the head. Right at right at the beginning of the manifold. Because now new cars, the catalytic converter is basically there's no header. As soon as it goes out from the end, the exhaust gas goes out from the engine. The catalytic converter is like right there. So or they use part of the head of the engine as the header. But anyway, so I drilled the hole. You see it's slightly bit higher than the stock, or not the stock, but the Akrapovic O2 bung, and they're actually slightly angled. This one is not. This one is perpendicular. So I have to drill it slightly up. So basically, once I weld this bung on, it'll be like that. So that way that way they clear each other, right? So if I had made this thing perfectly centered with if I drill this one and make it perfectly centered with this one, it will actually be further down, and the two ends here will hit each other. So I mean, it just high up enough so that it clears each other, but at the same time, it clears the spring here, right? So why did I make this? I made this so that I could put an O2 sensor on here, and I could fine tune my my fueling, so I could flash my own fueling, modify the flash tune. So I'm gonna do that now. Remember, this header material, at least this section and this section here, is telling me that it's a 321. Make sure you guys can see that number. 321. 321 stainless is used in this cases because it holds up against high heat, and it won't corrode very easily against high heat. For example, if you use 304 stainless, 304 is typical stainless, the most common stainless that's food grade. Usually when you get up above 1,000 degrees or so, the 304 doesn't have the corrosive fighting properties once it passes 1,000 degrees, but the 321 does. It goes up to, I think the 321, it could go up to, I think, like 1,800 degrees or 1,600 degrees. I forget exactly what it was, but it's it's a lot higher. And when you see headers glowing, you're well above 1,000 degrees. You're like up at depending on the glow of the header. If it's a duller glow, it's you're down at 1,300 degrees, 1,400. As it gets brighter, you're up at 1,600, even 1,800 degrees. So this thing could withstand that brightness. But obviously, for street use, that's not gonna happen. Unless you're racing, that could happen, or if you're doing a burnout or something, that could happen. But when you're actually riding on the street, that you would never get it hot. But it will get over it will get over 1,000 degrees for sure. That's where you have the coloring. When you look at the coloring on the on stainless, and actually any type of steel, you look at the coloring, and these are tempering colors. Once you get to that blue, that bluish color, you're at about 800 degrees. When it goes above 800 degrees, steel, doesn't matter what type of steel it is, steel won't have any more color. It turns gray. From between 800 degrees and 1,200 degrees, it turns gray. So this is the oxidized colors. Basically, at those temperatures, it's being exposed to air, the surface gets oxidized, and that's what the colors are. Those are the oxidation colors. You know, we call them tempering colors. Once it gets above 800, that goes away, it turns gray until about 1200 degrees or so, 1250. That's when it will start having color again, but not oxidizing colors. It will actually glow. So it will actually have a dull glow. As it gets hotter, it gets brighter and brighter. So anyway, so that's a little info for you guys. So I'm gonna be welding that. So since this is 321 stainless, now you have to use the 321 filler rod, which they actually don't make 321 filler rod, because 321 stainless, one of the alloys in it is titanium, and when you use for the filler rod, if you use the same filler rod as let's say this is 321's filler rod, as you're welding, the titanium in it will actually burn off, and basically it's gone. It burns off. So that's why they don't really make 321 filler rod. So you actually have to use a what was this? I just ordered this stuff. I can't remember what number it is now. I think it's 347 or 348 or something like that. But anyways, so it's a slightly different. It gives more, the alloy that's used is not titanium. It's something else, some other metal. I forget what it was. It was what was it? I forget what it was now. But anyways, it doesn't burn off. Under the welding arc. So that's how it looks before. I'm gonna weld this on here, and we'll see how it looks afterwards. All right. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned.